Today we're going to start working on our raised garden bed. I'm going to get all the weeds out of it first, do a little bit of hoeing them up, and then I'll see about adding some dirt and mixing that up real good, and then we'll get to planting. That right there is a good sign. You know you got good dirt when you got earthworms. That was the jungle grow y'all saw me use in the last video. I'm also going to add some black cow manure, help give it a little bit of fertilizer as well. Save a little bit of those for our herb garden. Right now I'm just going to mix this up. I usually tend to add a little bit more every year once some of the stuff down the bottom breaks down. Plus it also helps just kind of refresh the nutrients back into the bed. The red bell pepper, sweet pepper. Got a Cajun bell pepper, spicy bell pepper. And then also the regular green bell that you're used to seeing at most grocery stores. We're going to do the same way you saw me do these with the tomatoes. I'm going to break those roots apart, get them out of that ball, get them where they can grow in some regular soil, get them spread out. Pepper plants don't usually tend to get as big, so they don't require such a large basket. I just do it to give them a little bit of support, because we've noticed here right towards early fall these things start producing a lot of peppers, and if you don't come out here and pick every day or every couple days, they will get ahead of you. If you've got any leaves that don't look good, go ahead and pluck them off. Some of these are already starting to flower a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I know with this setup, I'm not really sustaining my whole family off of this garden, but especially the way prices are now on things, if you can pay $5 for one bell pepper plant, I can just about guarantee it'll last you all the way through summer and into the early fall. And every time, that's a trip you don't have to make to the grocery store. I always like to leave the little tags in so I know exactly what pepper I'm pulling out. You'll see that I do that with my herbs too, and it's just because some of the herbs kind of resemble each other, especially before they start really leafing out. All right, next I'm gonna do some okra, some crookneck yellow squash, some zucchini, and then I'll do some cucumbers, and I'll show you how I do those. Whenever I'm dealing with seeds, I'll usually plant a few more than necessary. And once they get germinated and start sprouting, then you can always decide if you wanted to pull them up or if you wanted to leave a couple in there. The reason I put my squash and zucchini and eggplant into these is to help that stem to keep from getting on the ground, because when that stem gets on the ground, there's a weevil that will burrow inside of it, and it will mess up your plant. So I just tend to do this just to keep everything up off the ground as much as I can. I'll take about 4 seeds to an area, open it up just a little bit, kind of space them out. Do 5 just to be on the safe side. And I'm just going to cover that back up. Not going to do much to it. Come over here and do another thing of squash. Try to kind of keep everything in a row. I don't know why I said that, because I'm fixing to put some okra right here in between this. Okra doesn't really need anything to grow up through it. Separate that. Two things of squash. Do some zucchini here. Like I said, you can always throw in a couple more seeds. If any of them have trouble germinating and popping up, you can always pluck out afterwards. But I usually try to start off with a few in an area, so therefore whichever ones start popping up fast, if I see the other ones coming up, I'll wait till they all come up, and then I'll pick whichever ones I want out of that bunch. I'm gonna come down over on this back side and do some eggplants. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more eggplant here. And then I'm gonna take it and come back and I'll do a little bit of okra. Then I'll show you how to do my cucumbers. Like I said, you can always pull up, so feel free to add a couple extra seeds. They only need to be sitting about under 2 inches of dirt. Not necessary to pat it down or anything like that. All right, you'll see the little bit of trellis I have here. That's for the cucumbers. So as soon as they start coming up out of the ground down that row, we're going to train them to grow up that trellis. Makes it a lot easier, and it keeps the bed clean. A lot easier to just pick off the off side, and you don't have to walk through the bed to get to them either. are just long green cucumbers. Same as the other ones, feel free to put a few extra seeds. Space them out kinda. All right, I'll show you how to do some okra. All right, back again. All right, we took our okra and we hydrated it in room temperature water for about 12 to 24 hours. Next, I'm gonna take it in these open spots right here. I'm gonna place them about 6 inches apart, both sides, and it shouldn't use up too much of my bed space. Once again, okras are gonna grow straight up in a stalk, so you should be fine. It shouldn't take over too much of the rest of your bed. Try your best to step in as little of your bed as possible. All right, I just kind of put those in as fillers. If I wind up getting too much in the bed, I can always pull them up. Sometimes okra is very hard to get to germinate. The soil has to be above 60 degrees, I believe. You need to stop doing it if you have any like cold nights or whatever. It's not recommended to plant if you're still going to be dealing with some cooler weather.